Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 854. Is that where we're at? Coffee's kind of lukewarm. What's going on with that? Had plenty of time. Coffee's still slow. But it's not a hot coffee. Should have microwaved it. Nuked it. Should have nuked it. Episode 854. So I think we're still online for what? Episode 1000 by when? September. So we're 146. There's going to be like card show days. Let's see, where are we at? We're April 13th. Let's see. I could probably actually go in and do the math. Although there's probably going to be like a day or two that pop up, like I go on a trip or something, Wrigley or hometown. So let's see, 30. There's 80, 920, 950. Yeah, so probably sometime in mid-September. I think we'll hit episode 1000 sometime after Labor Day. Because there's gonna be a couple days where there's no show because of card shows. I'll be in Dallas first week end in May for Collecticon. I'll be sharing some more details on that. Boy, that's really like coffees. My coffee maker sucks. So there's going to be some days. Coffee maker sucks. Yesterday I went to a card shop. So I'm going to share my my day at the card shop, Real Sportscards, Waupun, Wisconsin. Really cool trip. Long time coming. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes away from me on the west side. But it's like when I've known Tom for years, when he bought the building, he's like, yeah, come on up and see the progress. And I didn't. Then he opened it and I still didn't go. Finally, it took Bowman to reel me in. But I'm a terrible friend. I'm a terrible when it comes to like visiting card shops. I just like Freeport. Like if I'm on my way to Anawan, I'll stop in Freeport, stop at the card shop. That's it. I have so many like dealer friends that are also card shop owners, but it's not like it's kind of like a half day trip. I mean, even Wapun's only an hour and 15, but you're an hour and 15 there, hour and 15 back, spend an hour and a half at the shop. That's half a day. So I can't just up and leave once or twice a week to go to card shops. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about my trip to Waupun, Wisconsin, to Real Breaks. I was on my way back. My wife met with our like window coverings lady, that like designer that orders the window stuff. So I was then this is, I don't know, like the third or fourth meeting. I was in on one of them and I'm like, I don't really care. You pick out what's best. Throw some options my way and I'll probably won't care. So my wife was like, oh, is coming over. We're going to pick out. And I'm like, haven't we already done that? Like, I'm going to skip out on that. But she's like, oh, can you stop at the grocery store on your way back? And I'm like, okay. I stopped. I had a light lunch before I left. And I went to the grocery store hungry. Oh, it's the worst. Because not only do you spend a lot more money, you buy a lot of junk food. So my wife had sent me a list and there was a lot of like snacks on it. And then like I'm hungry. So I got home. My wife had an appointment. She came home and I'm like, I went to the store hungry. And she's like, yeah, I saw the charge come through. I'm like, we have plenty of snacks now. We have plenty of snacks. So I went to the grocery store hungry. You don't want to do that. What else is going on? I listed about 500 cards into my eBay store yesterday through even being gone at the card shop half the day. I was still able to get my shipping done and for the most part enlist about 500 cards in my eBay store. So I'm over 37,000. I'm really pushing now that I've got a good system, now that I'm scanning ahead of time and I'm kind of breaking it up to where I'm doing those activities or whatever you would call them, chores, activities. I feel like I'm more streamlined. I feel like I'm more efficient this way. It takes, and that's when I'm in the blowout forums, and it's like I do 3-day shipping because it allows me time to be flexible. And they're like, well, you'll save money if you're a top rated seller plus. It's like, yes, but there's a lot of, it's not just shipping everything within 24 hours and all that, but it's also like the stress. And it's like, if you go to like somewhere for a day, you can't just extend everything out. I'd be doing that like once or twice a week. So it's just not feasible. It might be feasible for others. For me, it's not feasible. So I do 3-day handling, gives me a little cushion, and I can use that time to scale my store up. And they're like, "But well, you're spending the same amount of time shipping and listing, no matter what." Yes, but my brain works differently, and it's the streamlined. And the thing is, when I like pull cards before I ship, I'm much faster at the shipping process if I stick to one task, because once I start like, I won't say multitasking, but if I'm doing multiple tasks is multitasking. If I'm doing multiple tasks with like pauses or okay, you're doing this, now you're done with this, now you go to doing that. Don't worry, it's not plugged in. It's just a prop mic. Because during that downtime, I'm not disciplined enough to stick to focus. Remember, squirrel? If I'm focused on one task, I'm boom, 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 boom. But all of a sudden, if there's like transition time, it's like, okay, I'm done with this task. Now I go to this task. But, oh, squirrel, what's on the blowout forums? What's on Twitter? What's on Facebook? Therein lies the problem. And that's my own problem. But I have a workaround, and that's to just stick to one task and do that. And so that is because doing it the old way, where I'd scan, upload, list all in one swoop, it was slowing me down because I had that downtime that was distracting. So I was listing, a couple hundred cards, but I knew if I can get streamlined, I can do 1,000 and basically I can list 1,000 cards in like no time, basically. It's basically just spot checking the spreadsheet before I upload. So now that I'm streamlined and I'm scanning everything, uploading it to Card Dealer Pro, and then coming back and, maybe focusing on, scanning and uploading 300-400 cards, coming back and then checking the batch, uploading. It's like, boom, it's so easy peasy. So that's where I'm at. So I'm averaging in like, not even try, like 500 cards a day, not even trying. Like I'm probably doing that in an hour because I've already spent the time scanning and uploading. The upload that's where the most time comes in, like the upload process, scanning with the Fujitsu, but the AI takes a little time to recognize. So where are we at in the chat? Kevin's with us. What's up, Kevin? Good morning to you. Boston Smoke is here. We've got Brian Dean in the house. Harlan here. What's up, Harlan? Victor, good morning. Steve Ains Comedy. We've got the Card Hobbyist. Donald Davis, good morning. Todd Richardson, what's happening? Is this the year Kelenic breaks out for Seattle? If he played at Wrigley Field every day, he might. This could be a breakout year for Jared Kelenic, which is good because everybody was like poo-pooing, and one of my bulk buys had a ton of Jared Kelenic, like first Bowman Chromes, first Bowmans, all that. So I think I've already sold one of the first Chromes, sold for like $7 or $8. I think I had it. Actually, it's only been in my store because I just unearthed it going through my boxes a week ago. So I'll have to try to find that box. Where's the rest of my Kellenics? Bo procrastinating. I don't believe it. I know, right? I'm very good at it. Good morning, Angel Baby Cards in the house. What's happening? Steve says go buy a new coffee maker. Mr. Coffee has one for $25. I probably will. My wife and I were actually just talking about that. Here's another coffee maker problem. So we have, and it's not going to be a problem for long because we're moving, but up in our kitchen, we have, a space between the counter and the kitchen cabinets. Now, our kitchen cabinets are painted white, and there's just enough room between the countertop and the cabinets for my coffee maker. So make coffee, and for like, how long have we been in this house? For almost 6.5 years. For about 5.5 to 6 years, just push the coffee maker was, I'd pull it out, put the water in, put blah, 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 push it back in. That steam was rising up into the bottom of the countertops, and all of the paint peeled, which we didn't realize until 5-6 years later. So my wife's like, you need to pull it out. That's what she said. So you need to pull the coffee maker out so the steam's not, and at the time she said that, I'm like, now the steam's going to hit the front of the countertops, and that steam's going to hit the countertop or the cabinets. That steam's going to hit the front of the cabinets. And she's like, well, we can't have, and I'm like, but it's better to have it doing this. It's like, what are my other options? If these are the only two options, neither of them are good. But the least of our worries would be underneath where it's been, because you can't see it. So I listened to my wife. That's what you should do. I listened to my wife, and guess what? Yesterday, little chip from the front of the cabinet. And I'm like, and she's like, this is probably a dumb question, but are there coffee makers that don't produce steam like this? And I'm like, I don't know. That's not a dumb question because I don't know the answer. Not that just me knowing the answer or not would make it a dumb question. I'm like, I don't know. So then I said, at the new house, I want to buy like a Keurig or a single cup, which many people in here have suggested. But I like drinking an entire pot. But the reason I want to get a Keurig at the new house, I'm going to put it in my office. So when I do these morning chats, I can drink more than 1 cup of coffee. Just what you need, me on 3 cups of coffee in the morning. So, but my shitty coffee maker right now, yes, I do need to replace it. Might as well just suck it up. I'm trying to wait until like I need a new. So here's the thing with the new computer. I complain about this pile of shit computer. I have a new computer. It's just I use it in the upstairs office, and I don't want to buy, because I bought I guess I could go out and buy a laptop because this, I have a smaller space here, but I wanted like a large monitor desktop PC in my office because that's where I'm scanning cards. I'm on spreadsheets. I don't want to be staring at a small spreadsheet. I don't want small images. I want freaking massive images, massive Excel spreadsheets. So that's why that computer is upstairs, because that's where I use that. This computer, basically, I do YouTube. I surf the net, Twitter, Facebook, blowout forums, and ship my cards. And I'm probably going to have a similar setup in the new house, in my inventory room, eBay store room. But I probably should get, and I'm waiting until like after we get in. It's like, I don't want to buy all this new stuff. And then, because if I buy another computer, I already have another old laptop And then I have to move all this other old crap unless I sell it first. I guess it would, what's the word? Incite me to sell some of the old crap. Anyway, where are we at? Ed, good morning. George is in the house. Steve says the Rays, they won again. The Rays won again. Beat the Red Sox last night. And now the Tampa Bay Rays are 12-0. They are one off the Major League record, which was happened twice. Brewers and Braves in 1982 and 1987, the last time, or the record that teams have started a season with 13 wins. A 13-0 record to start the season. Only been done twice. And the Rays are on the verge. Do they play the Red Sox again today? My thought is like, can they win again? And it's like, I just feel like they're going to come up short. Steve's cursing me right now. I feel like maybe I'm the anti-jinx, or am I the jinx? Anti-jinx. So what's today? Oh, today's a light schedule though. Thursday, because I know the Cubs are off. Oh, the Rays and Red Sox. Ooh, they've got an early game. 12-10 start. So I might throw that on my, depending if I'm shipping or listing or shipping. So we've got the A's and Orioles at noon, Red Sox and Rays, Phillies and Reds at 5:40. We've got some wacky start times today. Twins and Yankees at 6:05. These are all Central Time. Tigers and Blue Jays just after 6. Pirates and Cardinals 6:45. Brewers, Padres tonight 8:40 out on the West Coast. So light schedule in Major League Baseball. Can the Rays do it? Can they tie the record with a win today? Hall of Fame card collector. I saw Shakespeare first folio yesterday in the Gutenberg Bible, among others, on my field trip. Very cool. Dairyland Picker says, use a coffee press. That seems like work. I don't want to do that for my coffee. I'm not a coffee snob. I had a friend, my friend Neil. I have a friend. And I use past tense because I don't think he was into like the coffee. He kind of goes on these, he's a worldly man. He's a worldly man that stays in his basement. I joke because he had a basement apartment and he never left his basement apartment back when we were in Macomb. He's in Colorado now. He's married and in Colorado. But he would get on these kicks. He was on a beer making kick. So he would brew his own beer. It's pretty good. And then he was on an IPA kick. And then he stopped brewing beer. And I think the IPA kick was around the same time because he was making this nasty ass IPAs. And I'm like, dude, this tastes like freaking potpourri IPAs. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I hate IPAs now. And then he got into coffee and he did the coffee press. He was doing cold brew coffee. And he's like, it takes too much time. I'm like, that's why I never started. It takes too much time. My wife wanted is it a latte? What the hell's it? I don't know. It does the foam thing. And she's like, you'll like it too. And it's like, it's probably too much work. I just want to put water in the carafe. Is that what it's called? I just want to put water in the jug, coffee in the filter, and hit the button. And then not an hour and a half later, like my current coffee maker, but like in 20 minutes or 15 minutes, have a pot of coffee ready for me. That's what I like. So, I don't think a coffee press is in my future. Zach and Porter in the house. What's happening? We've got Herman here. What's up, Herman? Brian Wolf is here. Angel Baby Cards. Do I need software for the Fujitsu scanners? If so, how much? No software. It's just like a download on the website. So no software needed. You just have to buy the scanner. And I can't remember if a CD comes. If a CD doesn't come, if you don't have, because I don't think my computer upstairs has a CD-ROM thing. You can download the software on the website. So, and it's no charge. Just buy the scanner and the software comes with it. Brian Dean, Remember to get blackout blinds for the office and card room. Write it down. Blackout blinds. Brian says, isn't it possible to tweak the system by printing the labels the day it's sold or next day, even though you may not get to the post office in another day or two? Ideally, yes. In practice, no, because, and here's why I don't do it, because you print the label off and then you don't know what card it is, right? So that's my issue. And I'm doing, and plus dealing with volume, I have sometimes I'm still getting multiple transactions, and that's because I haven't figured out what setting within Card Dealer Pro I need to match up with my default in eBay. So I have to go back, like every time I upload a batch, like after I load my last batch, I go into eBay business policies and make sure everything's lined up. But I still have like outdated items that for some reason it won't change to my default setting. I have like over 1,000. So every once in a while, so I just have to suck it up. Because sucking it up, that extra 30-cent transaction fee is better than going and spending hours trying to fix each listing. So, and not too many of those sell anyway, probably because the settings are off. I don't know. But ideally, yeah. But the problem is you would have to also print off like what item sold, because obviously that's not printed on the label. It's just the address to where it's going. So that would slow you down on the back end. If you have a pile of labels, it's like, well, shit, what cards go to which order? So that's why I don't do it. I also don't do it because main reason, sometimes I'll have not only if the transactions are separated, but if people buy, and I have this happen, I'd say fairly common. I mean, it's a small percentage, but it happens probably daily with the volume I'm selling, is people will buy they'll buy multiple times. So it's not eBay separating. It's just somebody coming in. I'm going to buy this card. Now I'm going to buy this card. So that is a separate transaction as well. I know I can go in and do the bulk and combine and all that. But then my fear is if I have 250 items to ship and I'm printing out all these labels, where in the hell are these labels going to which card? And that would cause a major malfunction. So ideally, yes. In practice, no. David, good morning. He says, go Rays. I'm rooting for the Rays. I want to see them get the record. They still have they have to win today and tomorrow. I'm sure. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, so they'll play tomorrow. Jenny says, Brian, the seller level isn't based off label printed date. It's based off first scan. In terms of the system. But I think eBay, it is based on the first scan. But I think in some cases eBay might, because if you just print a label off today, it's not like eBay's not going to recognize it as shipped today because it's just waiting. It's the top rated seller status, like Jenny says, it's based off that first scan. So that is correct. So yeah, just printing it off to get that TRS is not going to do you any good. Terry A, what's happening? Good morning. Johnny Boy Cards in the house. Ed says developing a consistent routine is the best way to maximize production. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we can all like I know there's more that I could do. And it's just trying to find what works, not only what works efficiently for you, but it's kind of like if your goal is to lose weight, like fad diet, the reason fad diets and people that do fad, and I'm not saying everybody that does a fad diet gains the weight back, but a large percent of people that get on these fad diets is because it's not a life. Well, if it is a lifestyle change, it's like drastic. And I think that's why a lot of volume sellers, once they realize the output you have to put in to do hundreds of cards a day, like you're shipping and listing all day long, 7 days a week. And sometimes you're working till 8, 9, 10 p.m. or later, and you're waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. And you're working all day. And it's like, oh, I want to sell baseball cards. But at the end of the day, you're selling baseball cards in your basement. So there's some trade-offs, but it's like I can't just hop on. Like when I went into this, it's like, oh, on Fridays I'm gonna, and I told my buddy on Fridays, but this is something that I also need to strive for. Like take a day off and go, now that weather is warming up, it's gonna be 80 today, go on a bike ride, do something not card related. It's much easier for me in the warm weather days because I don't have any cold weather hobbies. My hobbies are like riding my bike and gardening, which you can't do in December in Wisconsin. You can ride your bike in December in Wisconsin, but I'm not riding my bike in December, January, February, or even March, unless we get one of those crazy warm days. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, consistent routines. Yeah. What you can handle, like a consistent routine, like adjusting the way I list using Car Dealer Pro in my scanner. Like now I've learned, now I'm never going back to my old way. My old way was I'd take a stack of cards, I'd scan it, and then I'd go to Car Dealer Pro and I'd upload it. And ideally my thought was, okay, I've got 10 minutes of downtime while Car Dealer Pro's recognizing these cards. I can use that time to go in the other room and ship for 10 minutes. But in practice, I wasn't doing that. That's on me, but I also know my limits, and it's not a routine that I wanted to stick to because I'm going to go pet the dog. I'm going to go get a water. I'm going to go read an article online. And then all of a sudden I'm wasting 15 minutes, which I could have been shipping, or, my batch could have been already uploaded. So it's just finding those efficiencies. And now, and I kind of took the idea from Dan, US Sportscards, where just scan a whole bunch of cards. And I think Dan did it because he didn't want to lose his scans for the month on Car Dealer Pro, which I never thought of. And I lost scans, probably on a monthly basis because I just wasn't utilizing it to my maximum efficiency. And now it's like, well, I'm going to do that. And I had 1,000 cards or so already batched up in 100 card piles. I'm just going to start. I'm going to spend a day, not even a day, spend a couple hours scanning and uploading. And once it's like halfway through, I know it's got the batch. I'm going to do the next batch, and boom, 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 boom. And then when I have a day, the next day or 2 days later, when I decide I'm going to list cards today in mass, and I can sit down and go down, check everything, make any changes, boom, boom, boom. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Maybe it's Topps Archives and I have to actually type in, and that batch takes me 20 minutes or 25 minutes. But boom, I can get 1,000 done in a couple hours. So discovering those routines that work with you. And the other way, my old way, could work for you, for the next person. But it didn't work. I wasn't maximizing my efficiencies, but that doesn't mean you can't maximize your efficiency in that routine. Kyle, what's up? Good morning. Steve says you want it all and you want it now. What was that from? Was that an infomercial? Card hobbyist. Out of curiosity, I typed steamless coffee maker in Google. First thing that pops up is a French press that looks like R2D2. Interesting. And I think that's who mentioned Denny, I think, said that, a coffee press. Let's see. I think we actually do. No, because that thing steams. I don't know if that's a French press that we have. The latte maker I mentioned that my wife wanted, and she actually used quite a bit, and then now it's been sitting in the pantry forever. It's a press of some kind, but it does steam a lot. I'm sure there's got to be steamless something. Kevin, what's up? He says, I'm about to wrap up on listing late 80s cards. I randomly grabbed a box last night to see what I was getting myself into. 2015 Topps and Panini Contenders up next. Very cool. Very cool. Motivate, says John. Motivate. Let's see. Herman says, go Red. Oh, Herman's rooting on the Red Sox. Brian Baker in the house. What's up? Grinding for good. Good morning. John says a parade in St. Pete will be interesting. Everyone in bed by 3 p.m. there. Big Harv, the Technic Vorm Mocha Master, is my coffee maker of choice. Interesting. MD says, went and saw Tommy yesterday. Yes, I did. My good buddy Tom. Red Light 34 in the house. Dude doesn't want to pedal when he's on a bike. You want him to use a coffee press. See? John knows me. John knows me. Cooter, what's happening? Michael Renicky, what's going on? George says, I've been learning coffee roasting from my friend that owns a roastery and cafe. Interesting. Cooter says, I don't care what the hipsters say. IPAs are skunk piss. Yeah, IPAs suck, man. Good morning, by the way. IPAs are like the freaking the devil. It's the devil's design in beers. Like the devil designed IPAs. Like he created skunk piss IPA. Ugh. George says, I go roast for him from time to time when he's busy with customers. Very nice. You betcha Angel Baby cards. Terry says, I usually scan all my sorted cards on Saturdays and then list throughout the week and then repeat. I like it. I like that. John says, just me probably. How do you handle multiple offers from the same seller? If I accept them all, I get hit with separate fees. Is there a way to combine them? So, I haven't figured this out yet because sometimes I don't get hit with the separate fees. So here's how I've been handling it since I started noticing this happening with with they're taking the fees out right away what on paper, eBay automatically taking money from a buyer when they send an offer is perfect. Currently in practice, not perfect. And the reason I say that is because how many times have you had an offer, the person sends you an offer and you accept and then they don't pay because they're probably all trying to alter comps, right? Pisses me off. Pisses everybody off, I would assume. So it's like perfect. eBay's fixing a problem. However, it's causing us headaches because sometimes I'll get offers. If somebody wants to buy 40 cards in my eBay store, they're all $1.50 free shipping. If they send me offers for 99 cents and they have 40 of them, I'm going to accept every damn one of them. But if I accept every damn one of them and eBay charges me 30 cents, 30 cents, 30 cents, it's like I'm wasting all of this time. I'm making no money. I'm making, I'm losing money essentially after the transaction fee. So Harlan, what I've been doing is as soon as I make sure I accept on like my computer, because I haven't figured out to send, I still don't think you can send invoices from the app. And my eBay app has sucked the last like month. My eBay app has been awful. And I've done my iPhone update. I've closed out the eBay and got back, and it sucks. So I'll go to my desktop and then I'll send it. If it allows me, I'll send invoice. And so far it's allowed me to send invoices on those. So that's what I do. I accept them and make sure to send an invoice if possible right away. Ty Wilson once owned a coffee shop and roastery. I did not know that. No wonder. No wonder he gave me crap about coffee on our last, on our eBay live show. He was giving me crap. What was he giving? Oh, about creamer. I was about creamer. And he was giving me crap. And I'm like, oh, Ty's a coffee snob. No wonder he owned a coffee shop. Of course. Now it all makes sense. Jenny says, as soon as you accept the offers from a buyer, send them. Oh, there you go. And that's exactly what Jenny says. Send them an invoice and it will put everything together for the buyer. They have to pay in one transaction. Yep. There you go. So that's what I after realizing that it was charging me, I started doing that. You can only do. And Jenny. Oh, Jenny's. We're in each other's minds this morning. You can only do from the website though. So if you do on the phone, go through your web browser on the phone versus app, which also sucks. I wish eBay could figure out a way to like simple tasks, like sending a damn invoice. Isn't that a simple? like, I wouldn't expect that to be difficult to have that utilized within the app. Like, I understand we don't need, because if you go to the ebay.com website, like go, there's like, how in the hell do you navigate all of this crap? You don't need all that within the app. But sending in an invoice is like one of the basic functions of eBay. It should be easily accessible on the app and not having to go to the frickin' computer. Like on the old days, I have to log on to my computer, wait for the modem to kick in. Computer time is 7 to 8 p.m. So yeah, so that's exactly what I echo exactly what Jenny says. Let's see. Jenny continues to be the smartest person in the room. Absolutely. Let's see. Harlan says Ty and I are both coffee snobs. I am not. With me and my cheap, crappy coffee maker, my Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and my creamer. And look at what Ty is doing now. Not roasting. I think coffee shops. I've known a few people that have run coffee shops and did not end well. John says, I never send invoices. Am I doing something wrong? Not necessarily wrong, but sometimes if you accept offers, eBay will charge you transaction. eBay will charge the buyer each time an offer is accepted, which is both good and bad, like I just mentioned. So you're not doing, I rarely send invoices. The only time I send invoices is now when I accept multiple offers. I don't want to get hit with those transaction fees from eBay. So I go in and send an invoice. Jenny is the hobby whisperer, all knowing, all seeing. LOL, the old days, those are your current days, waiting for the modern. It would be really great if eBay could get the sending invoice deal integrated into the app. Absolutely. It seems so simple. Hall of Fame card collector, I hate coffee, only drink hot chocolate. I never hated coffee. And here's why. Which, I had a lot because I worked in morning radio. In my going back, when did I start in morning radio? I was 18 or 19 when I started in morning radio. And I would have to be on the road, and the radio station was, and this is all like country, rural Illinois, 25-minute drive at like 4 a.m. as a 19-year-old. Sometimes after drinking some alcoholic adult beverages the night before. That was a tough commute. I learned to drink and like coffee at a young age, working in morning radio. And then it was all downhill from there. Now it's coffee. I need my coffee. We're like angry and grumpy if we don't have our coffee. Sorry, I haven't had my coffee this morning. I know. Why do people blame it on the coffee? Why not just say, I'm just an asshole? Oh, haven't had my coffee. Sorry, I'm sharp this morning, or whatever it is. Haven't had my coffee. I've only had one cup of coffee. Sorry, I'm No, just say, I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. It's not the coffee's fault. You're just an asshole. And I am too. Sorry, I've only had one cup of coffee. No, I'm just an asshole. Let's see. Big Harv says I'm a code snob. He's a coffee snob, I think. Yes, he is a coffee snob, but enjoy an occasional gas station cup. Yeah, I think when I left, there was a time when I stopped drinking coffee. I don't know why. But then I went to cappuccino, and that's your gateway. That's your gateway drug into coffee, cappuccino. Because then it's like, oh, it's kind of too sugary and too milky. Now I need just some hard frickin' coffee. Give it to me straight. John's only had one sip of coffee in his life. Love the smell. It's a beautiful smell. Love the smell of coffee. Oh shit! I bought the good stuff yesterday. The Door County coffee. Damn it! And I didn't brew that this morning. Well, hey, Friday. It's a free for all Friday. Tomorrow I'll have my good stuff. The peanut butter crunch. Oh, I think maybe that's what Ty was. I think that's what Ty was. Peanut butter flavored coffee. That's what he was getting at. But don't like coffee places, isn't that kind of their specialty? Is like flavored coffees? I don't know. Kyle says, I'm glad I'm not the only one here who doesn't do coffee. Big Harv says, working in a newsroom, we all lived off caffeine and nicotine. Yeah. We had a lot of smokers in radio too. And that was like, if you didn't have if you worked in morning radio and you didn't either drink coffee or smoke, it's like you're psycho. You're a lunatic. You are sociopath. You're a sociopath. If you don't drink coffee or smoke and you're working in morning radio, what is wrong with you? You sociopath. John says, I had a job in my 20s where I worked 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. That's a long that's like a 20-hour job. Let's see. I don't blame it on the coffee. I blame it on the 6-pack I consumed the night before. There you go. Cooter says, growing up, my parents started the first pot of coffee in the morning, and the last thing you did was turn off the pot before bed. My parents did a little of the same. They were World War II generation that needed coffee like they needed air. Yeah, my parents would my dad would brew a pot like when he got home from work. And it's like, oh. And my mom would come home like an hour later and my dad would have drank and like, do you want another pot of coffee? Like, Jesus H, another pot? Slow down here. Dan says, dang, lost track of time while watching Early Edition. Early Edition. Is that the show with the newspaper? Was that the show with the guy who went back in time? Oh, I love that show. Great show. It's kind of like Quantum Leap, but it's even better. Early Edition. I love that show. I wish it would have lasted longer or they would bring it back. Grinding for Good has a great question. Do you have an afternoon crash? Sometimes I do. But sometimes what I do is I'll drink like Pepsi for lunch. I'll go from coffee and then I'll drink water until lunch, and then I'll have like some caffeine at lunch. But sometimes that makes my crash worse. If I just drink my pot of coffee in the morning and then drink water the rest of the day, I'm usually better without the crash. But if I have some caffeine at lunch, then it seems like I crash in the afternoon. Victor, yeah, I still have not had Connect coffee. That's Ian Happ's coffee, Connect Roasters. Have not had that yet. I'll have to try some. By the way, I had some great news driving up to Waupun, Wisconsin yesterday. Ian Happ extended. So we've locked in Nico Horner and Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki. So I like it. Still bullish on this Cubs season. Still bullish. Card Hobbyist says same. My dad drank coffee all day, every day. I saw that man drink water like twice in his whole life. Yeah, my dad would go from, I don't know if my dad ever drank water. It was coffee and beer. That's it. Coffee and beer. Maybe that's why he's no longer with us. Not a healthy lifestyle. Let's see. I sold a hockey card on eBay. Thank you, Low Roller. John says, I was a roadie. We had other methods to keep us awake. I get what you're saying. George says, John and Fishers and Blow. Dan says he got tomorrow's news today. That's right. There was a kid in the episode I just watched who was a Cubs fan. Herman says, I have a friend open a coffee shop in the back of a bar they named Third Wheel. It's geared towards serving coffee to designated drivers. That's a really cool idea. And I love the name, Third Wheel. Big Harv says, John's other methods were gummy bears and carrot juice. What's up, Curmudgeon? Make Sanka great again. Coffee is 97% water. That's close enough. Hell yeah. Low Roller wants me to check which hockey card. So I sold a hockey card. Oh, I sold a Wayne Gretzky. Oh, they took my offer of $10. 2013-14 Fleer Metal Universe Wayne Gretzky. It's been in my store for probably 2 months. So it finally sold. I think I had 2 of them, and one of them sold semi quickly. This one took a little longer. I went to a card shop yesterday. One of the reasons I wanted to get up there years ago when Tom opened up Real Sports Cards in Waupun, Wisconsin. I've known Tom. Tom and Ryan run Real Breaks. Ryan's in Minnesota, Tom here in Wisconsin. And I've been a fan of their breaks since they got started in a Facebook group, which is still up and running, which I'm not really I'm not active at all. They changed a lot of like rules and different things, so I'm not on there much, but it was called Keep It Real on Facebook. And it's a really large, like there's like 40,000, probably even more than that now, members in this group. And they were like the official breakers of Keep It Real. And then they went off and went on their own. And then Ryan opened a shop in Minnesota and is doing really well. Then Tom opened up an old building built in 1892 in downtown Waupun, Wisconsin. And he's doing really well there too. And so I don't think I was in Tom's first break with Keep It Real on Facebook, but it was like one of the first few that he was in. And we're just chatting back and forth. And I learned Tom lived at the time in Fort Atkinson, which is just about 35, 40 minutes away. And then I noticed his last name, which is Kolcheski, which is a very uncommon last name. But I knew of the name from my radio days. And I happened to look at his Facebook page, and Tom was from the city where I worked in radio. And I'm like, hey, do you know Al? And he's like, yeah, Al's my dad. How do you know him? And I'm like, I worked at the radio stations in Monmouth, and I interviewed your dad every Wednesday morning because he was in charge of the 4-H programs. And he would come in and talk about all the activities and the 4-H stuff. Small world. So I went over and he would hook me up with some deals on sealed wax. I went over and sat in on one of his breaks when he was still in Fort Atkinson. Then he moved up north, which is a little further out. But I'm like, I need to get up there. He also sets up he'll be at the Madison Card Show April 29th. And he brings sealed wax, does really well. A lot of people buy sealed wax at the show, hobby boxes. So he had a spot for 2022 Bowman Draft. And he's like, the paper spot is $40. And I love it when my eBay 15, 16, 17. Come on, keep going. 18. Keep going. Anyway, $40 for a case of the paper from Bowman Draft. Includes all the firsts, all the Cubs. So I'm like, yo, if that's still available, I'll take it. He's like, you got it. I'm like, how many do you have? He's like, oh man, I've got like 20 cases of this. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. So he brought the one case. It was actually, it's like a case and a half that fits in a 4-row box. So brought it to the last Madison Card Show, and I'm like, how many more of these do you have? He's like, well, I just sold. He's like, I think we're still sorting, but he's like, I just sold like 10. I'm like, ah, shit. So I reached back out. Actually, it was this weekend at the Rockford Card Show. James was sitting at my table, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get some more of that Bowman Draft. So I messaged Tom. I'm like, yo, do you have any? How many do you have? He's like, I think I've got 15 cases worth. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming up next week. So yesterday I went up to Real Sports Cards, gave me a tour, super cool. So it was built in 1892, downtown Waupun, Wisconsin. And you walk in and it's just, there's like to the right, it's basically, it looks like an old building from the 1890s. On the right is like an insurance agent. And then on the left is Real Sports Cards. And it's just a really small, I'm like, the pictures make it look so much bigger. Well, that's when you go upstairs. So like the first floor is like all the sealed wax. No, it's just sealed wax. That's in some supplies in the front. Then you go upstairs and there's like rooms and there's like this big room in the back, and he's got cases where singles are, and they're like on the wall. And then he's got like, that's what's cool. Like all of the singles are on the wall, like in cases on the wall. And so like we're walking down the hallway and it's like it's basically like a shadow box or like a frame. And so there's maybe 10, like 50 cards in each glass case on hanging on the wall. And it's like this row, all cards $5. This row, all cards $10. This row, all cards $20. This row, all cards $50. And then those are like the less than $100 cards in the hallway. And then you go into this big room and there's these giant showcases. And that's got like the high end, like the triple threads and the booklets and the autos and the RPAs and all that fun stuff. High dollar cards. And then over in this side, and there's tables. It's like a kitchen. There's tables with like boxes that you can just dig through, and everything's marked. And they've got like UPC codes where you just, this is $5. This is your quarter box. This is your dollar box. And then these have the tag, whatever the price is on those cards. So super cool setup. And that's just like the singles portion. And then there's the breaking studio, which it looks like a radio studio, like, and you can like look, it's like a fishbowl. You look in and watch the guy. There was I can't remember which guy was breaking yesterday. I think he was breaking Gold Label, or no, it was a mixer. Tom said mixer included Gold Label, so you can watch him break. And then like up front, and he said like the up front area, which overlooks like the downtown, has it's a big space. They utilize it for like trade nights because it's a bigger space. But that's also like the shipping area. So I was able to get like ideas, like how he ran, like with so many breaks and so many cards, so much shipments, how does he utilize, how logistically, how does he do it? And it's very similar to my setup as far as like the cards and how they're organized. And then just, the flow. Basically, what I don't have here in this house, but I will have in the new house, is every space has a purpose. My current setup, I have too much stuff. So my spaces have multiple personalities. So this space, this room, is a combination of my eBay store inventory, my quarter box card show stuff, my Cubs stuff. All my Cubs cards are on the back wall. So this space has multiple personalities, which is not good, because then it's like, well, I ran out of space for my Cubs cards and now I'm putting them over here. And that's how you lose things. So that's what I like, is everything has a purpose. And that's something that I will obviously be utilizing at the new house with more space. Everything will have its purpose. My office will serve as the listing room. And my YouTube studio, my eBay store, the room that's adjacent to my office, will be my eBay store. So it's only going to be eBay inventory in that room. And then the unfinished storage area will have the other stuff. I'll have a shelf that will be dedicated to quarter box stuff. It'll be labeled. I'll have an area, all my Cubs cards. This is all Cubs cards. So every space will have its own identity. I'm going to get, before I keep rambling, because there's, what else? There's one other thing that I wanted to touch on. And we'll get into the chat. Where are we at in time? Almost an hour. Let's see. Grinding for Good says, PSA from one of my other favorite podcasts, Huberman Lab Podcast. Delay drinking caffeine until 60 to 90 after waking up. I have heard that because it helps. Stanford neuroscientist provides a lot of scientific-based health information. Yeah. Like an hour after you wake up is like the ideal time to drink coffee, because it's not, you're already like up and moving around, and then it acts as the stimulant. And I think it's based on like the neurology, you'll feel the need to drink less coffee. And I think I'm probably, let's see, I'm probably right at, well, today it was probably 90 minutes. I was up at 5:30. I didn't get out of bed physically until 6. Got ready, brewed my coffee, came down here, shipped a few items, drank my first cup as I went live at 7. So it was about 90 minutes after I woke up. And it's probably typically an hour, I would say, when I drink my first cup of coffee. George says, time for my bedtime story, courtesy of Kurt Vonnegut. John says, I've left quite a few Facebook or feedback lately. The cross-posting and sales threads are out of control. Oh, Facebook groups. Yeah, I've started to notice that. I'll like scroll through my feed and it's like, why am I seeing this again? Oh, it's because like I'm not in too many hobby Facebook groups, but I'm in a bunch of Cubs related Facebook groups. And I'll see like the same, like I'm selling this lot of Cubs autographs. And I'm like, I scroll through and I see like the same thing 6 times. Like, Jesus. So I agree. And there's a Cubs group that I'm about to leave because the people in there are just not It's okay if you're not savvy on baseball and how the business of baseball works. What's the saying? Like, don't open your mouth and prove it. Whatever that idiot. I don't know how that is, but like this Cubs group I'm in, it's like, oh my, are you freaking kidding me? And I see that and it's like, is this a joke? Is this Dan in the house? What's up, Dan? Good morning, all. Next weekend, I have 2 card shows locally in Syracuse. That's awesome. We go 100 days of winter with no card shows and now 2 on the same weekend. Let's see. Next weekend, I have a show. I'll be set up. My next card show, I'll be set up Janesville next Sunday, April 23rd. Not doing any shows this weekend. And it's going to be I'm like, oh, this weekend will be perfect to do a nice bike ride. So I may do the bike ride tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be our last day of nice weather for at least a few days. It's supposed to be cold fronts coming in. It's going to rain all weekend, going to be cold. So I guess I'll just hang out, ship and list and ship all weekend. So next Sunday, April 23rd, I'll be set up at the Janesville card show. I said my April was busy. My May's also going to be freaking busy. So Janesville, April 23rd, I'll be set up with my bargain boxes. Saturday, April, 29th, I'll be set up at the Madison card show. Sold out, 125 tables. The show is sold out. Free admission 9 to 3, Saturday, April 29th, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive, Madison, Wisconsin. The following weekend, May 5th and 6th, I'll be in Dallas at Collecticon. I'll be on a panel talking about using technology to build your business. So thanks to the guys from Collects for inviting me down to that. So that's at Collecticon Dallas, May 5th and 6th. The following weekend, it's another 2-day show in Loves Park, just outside of Rockford. I'll be set up with my bargain boxes at the 2-day show at Loves Park at the Indoor Sports Center. And then I think the next weekend I'm off. And then the following weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, is the Madison card show again, May 27th, which coincides right across the street from our favorite Bratfest. Bratfest right across the street from the Madison card show on May 27th. And actually Bratfest runs 3 days, all Memorial Day weekend. Let's see. Delaying the caffeine helps avoid the afternoon crash. Card Hobbyist has to run. Thanks for jumping on. Better to be assumed an idiot than open your mouth and proving it. Thank you, John. That's exactly what I was looking for. James wants to know, are you going to restock your quarter boxes? Let's see. For Janesville, possibly. I will have some Bowman Draft that I picked up yesterday. So I will have some 2022 Bowman Draft. I'll probably bring a box of that. There won't be any Jackson Holidays in there. There won't be any Cubs in there. But there'll be some firsts in there. So I will bring a box of Bowman Draft to the Janesville show. Other than that, I don't know. I've got, since I have this weekend, it's going to rain all weekend. Maybe I will focus on at least bringing a couple new boxes because it has been a couple shows since I've refreshed the inventory. But my show sucks in Janesville. Like, it's like I guess I'm more prepping for the Madison show with my bargain boxes. I just don't have the clientele in Janesville, and now I've done numerous shows at Janesville, and there's just not a bargain box. It's a great show, great traffic. It's just not a good bargain box show, unless you're a buyer. Then you can get some good deals. Terry says, Bo on a panel talking about technology isn't something I ever expected. Right. I know it does. It does seem like an oxymoron. Herman says, with Bo's coffee pot, waiting an hour after he wakes is not, and that's true. It takes an hour to brew my coffee. You have a point. Angel Baby Cards has to run. Thank you. Great video. I appreciate that. I just have one other thing that I want to touch on regarding my visit to Real Sports Cards up in Waupun. Boxes. So Cooter and I actually had a phone conversation. It's very rare that I have phone conversations. I hate talking on the phone. So Cooter was talking about boxes and utilizing like the same size of box, getting a good price. So when I was at Real Breaks yesterday, Tom had all of these like small, like different size boxes. And I'm like, where do you get your boxes? And he goes, Uline. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what I was afraid of. Because I've priced out boxes on Uline and it's more than I want to spend. But it could work out. So he was actually telling me, and I was surprised because Waupun's even closer to like the Fox Valley, where there's just the Green Bay area has just a never ending, and actually a lot of the smaller paper mills have been bought out by like the big paper mills. But there's just a ton of paper mills up in Green Bay and Appleton in that area. So he did say he had somebody from one of the mills reach out to him, and it would have been a savings, but just how easy Uline is, it wasn't worth the savings for the ease of ordering and everything he can get through Uline. So I'm gonna do. I've looked like twice already at Uline, and I've done some Google searches, and I just can't find much locally for boxes. And prices of boxes have gone up. Like you would think cardboard, but man, prices on cardboard has really risen in the last couple of years. So I'm gonna look at that pricing again and see what I can get. And I've already started to move my Cubs cards into standardized 4-row boxes. So moving cards out of, you see like summer and flat rate boxes, basically how they were shipped to me. They're still in the flat rate boxes. Some are in like the 800, 500, 800 count boxes. So just getting that streamlined. So that is something I want to push here in the next couple months. So that's what I wanted to end with. Not necessarily that I wanted to end with, but that's the last thought I had. Hit the like button if you haven't already. By the way, if you're still with us, join the Facebook Hobby Evolution Facebook page. We're at 165 members. We've got great discussion going on. Great comments, great posts. The link is in the description. I'm going to pop it in the chat. There you go. If you're watching live, you can click on that. Join the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. We're at 165 members strong with excellent conversation. So join that. My eBay store link is in the description. Added about 500 singles yesterday. Over 37,000 active listings. Over 100,000 cards in my eBay store. Michael says you should have taken those hockey cards I offered you. Boxes would have been free. I know, right? And then I would have been stuck with hockey cards. Let's see what else. Like, subscribe, all that. Tomorrow, we're going to play Name That Player, and get ready. I've been teasing it for probably months. We're going to play Topps Archives. Finally, we're going to do Topps Archives. So we get a mix of old and new tomorrow. So tomorrow, Name That Player. We're going to do 2 packs because they're the retail packs. So there's only 8 cards per pack. So usually we do like 16 card packs from the 90s. So we're going to do 2 packs of archives, 16 cards tomorrow on Name That Player. on the Free for All Friday. So that'll be fun with archives. Dan says, I like the 4x4 eBay boxes. I will use my store subscription supply discount on boxes and bubble mailers. Yeah, I was using mine. I had like a surplus of bubble mailers, so then I bought boxes, which I'm still using. But now I'm using my bubble mailer, like 200 bubble mailers. I'm basically using right around 200 bubble mailers every quarter, which coincides with my discount on the $50 coupon. So I'm using 200 bubble mailers per quarter. So I'm basically just ordering bubble mailers every quarter. But I love those eBay boxes. I think they're bigger than 4. The ones I have are longer than 4. They're like 12 by 6 or something, because I priced them out on Uline, and it's like, ooh, I should go back into eBay and see what they are on eBay. Even just buying them on eBay, they might be. I probably can't get them as cheap as Uline though. Let's see. Zach just sent a friend request on Hobby Evolution. Let's see. Oh, I think we've got a couple. Let's get you guys in. Zach, you are in. Andrew, you are in. 167 members to Hobby Evolution, the Facebook page. A lot of fun stuff going on in there. Michael says, so you're saying I got a chance on Topps Archives? Yes. Yes, you do. So that'll be fun. Tomorrow is Friday. Looking forward to it. That's what I had for today. Did I even talk about Bowman? Yeah, I got Bowman Draft. So I bought 15 cases of Bowman Draft paper yesterday. Came in 10 4-row boxes. So I will be listing those. I'm going to be sorting out the Jackson Holidays, the Elijah Greens, the Termar Johnsons, obviously the Cubs for my own collection. Jordan Walker's been selling in my eBay store. So I'll be listing some of those. And I've actually sold from that bulk buy in Janesville. I've been selling some of the Nationals. Jared McKenzie, Trey Lipscomb, those have been selling as well. So I'll be pulling some of the first Bowmans out to list in my eBay store. Ricardo submitted a Facebook request. Let's get you in. Where are we at? Ricardo, are you in? Now you are. 168. Ricardo is in. All right. Dan bought his airfare. I need to get now looking at Turo, I need to get my airfare for Dallas. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Jump on the Facebook group. And we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to play Name That Player tomorrow. Topps Archives. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow morning.